This school sees more of Batman than it does of you.
You can't even joke about this, understand?
It just slipped out.
Terry McGinnis might be one in a long line of young protégés that the Dark Knight has taken on. But the Batman of Neo Gotham has proven to be enduringly popular in his own right. And yet, the final episode of Batman Beyond, titled Unmasked, wasn't even remotely a finale. It was just a run-of-the-mill adventure. This has left fans with a constantly lingering question. Why wasn't Batman Beyond given a proper send-off?
I've got some questions I need you to answer.
Of course you do, boy.
Batman Beyond, created by Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, and Alan Burnett, was the fourth show in the DC animated universe. Long before the MCU and the DCEU, the ongoing animated continuity of DC-based comic book shows ruled the KidsWB for close to a decade. On paper, this show shouldn't work. There are already 5 highly beloved Robins that could work perfectly for a protégé story. Why create a new character? Well, the answer is simple. Terry, not having any of the baggage of the Robins, is a perfect audience conduit. His fresh perspective on the world of Gotham allowed an entire generation of fans to discover the mysteries of the darker side of the DCAU. The show is a wonderfully precise blend of teen drama, emotionally raw character development, high-stakes action-adventure, and the quintessential neo-noir that everyone has come to expect from a Batman show.
Have you considered checking into Arkham for a little R&R, Doc? Because quite frankly, you're nuts.
Fans of the show will know that the 3rd season boasts some of the most exciting installments in the continuing adventures of Terry McGinnis. Gotham's Dark Prince is pushed to the brink in hair-raising episodes like Out of the Past, the episode that features a reincarnated Ra's al Ghul, or the 2-parter The Call, which showcases a new version of the Justice League. These are especially fun due to the fact that Batman Beyond rarely brought back characters from Bruce Wayne's Rogues Gallery. However, in 2001, after just 3 seasons and 52 episodes, Batman Beyond ended. None of the fun or inventiveness that was showcased in the previous episodes are anywhere to be found in the final episode of Batman Beyond.
If a few more people knew your secret, life might be a lot easier for you.
Oh yeah, just like with the Diaz kid. Remember how easy that got?
Unmasked, the 13th episode of Season 3, follows Terry as he reveals his face to a young boy, inadvertently making him a target of the sinister terrorist cult Cobra. It's a low-stakes Adventure of the Week episode. In fact, it wasn't even intended to be the ending of the show. During the run of the final season, there were some production hiccups and the episode was not aired on the KidsWB. It was released on Cartoon Network close to 6 months after the previous episode was aired. The lackluster episode is an attempt at showcasing why Terry is so guarded with his secret identity. It all takes place in flashback, as Terry tells his best friend Max about the one time he let his guard down and allowed someone to see his face. The fact that it all happens in flashback makes it feel less than vital. It's just not a satisfying ending to a series that basically did the impossible. It actually created an heir for Bruce Wayne. Years later, the show would get a spiritual series finale in the Justice League episode Epilogue, which we did an episode about, link in the description below. But that still begs the question, why didn't Beyond have a finale? Bruce Timm had this to say.
We never actually got like an official cancellation notice. We eventually just stopped making the show and we were all moving on to other projects and stuff, so it's just the way it goes.
That seems a little hard to believe, doesn't it? That they simply ran their course and then never thought about doing a final episode? Well, that's because it's not the whole story. As the brain trust behind the DCAU were wrapping up Season 3 of Batman Beyond, they were starting to plan what a Season 4 could look like, when word came down from above that Cartoon Network and the WB were giving the green light to a Justice League show. This caused everyone involved in Beyond to pivot. They had 52 episodes, which was the required amount for children's daytime syndication, so as far as the higher-ups were concerned, the show had been a success. No need to put more money into it. It could now begin to recoup its investment by running in perpetuity to children of all ages. From their perspective, the DCAU Brain Trust was better allocated to be tackling the considerably difficult challenge bringing DC's Big 7 to the small screen.
Each of you brings something different to the table. Each of us is willing to make the sacrifices a hero needs to make, even the ultimate one.
Some discussion was also had about continuing Batman Beyond in the form of a sequel movie. The plan for this movie would have featured Catwoman and a recently returned to Gotham, Dick Grayson. The climax of the film would have been Dick confessing to Terry that the two main reasons he left Gotham were that Bruce began dating Barbara Gordon, something Dick viewed as a betrayal, and the fact that Terry was secretly a clone of Bruce. Obviously, the latter of the two plot points was used in the Justice League episode, Epilogue.
It's a good thing that you're almost a clone of me. The world does need a Batman, and it always will.
This sequel film never materialized because Return of the Joker underperformed on VHS and DVD. Batman Beyond appeared to be dead in the water, with a less than stellar send-off. But unlike so many characters, Terry didn't get relegated to the dust-covered back issue bins of history. The character proved enduringly popular. Over the course of Justice League, Terry would appear in Once and Future Thing Part 1, Weird Western Tales, Once and Future Thing Part 2, Time Warped, and of course, arguably the best episode of the show, Epilogue. Despite Batman Beyond now having a definitive send-off, the fan clamor for more Beyond episodes hasn't stopped. At San Diego Comic-Con, in a panel discussing the 20th anniversary Blu-ray box set of Batman Beyond, Bruce Timm talked about a continuation of the show, saying,
"If this thing sells like crazy on Blu-ray, it creates a giant buzz, that would make it more possible that it'll happen."
It's been a few years since Bruce Timm said that, and still no movement, despite constant rumors of a live-action Batman Beyond film fitting somewhere within the broader planes of the DC universe. It's a real testament to the strength of storytelling quality that the team put together. Close to 20 years later, this show is still being discussed, dissected, and re-evaluated. The fact that the corporate higher-ups didn't see the benefit of continuing Batman Beyond, and the fact that Bruce Timm and company weren't aware that this order of 13 would be their final run of the show, is a shame. It really does showcase how much of the television landscape has changed. Today, when there's even an inkling that it might be a character's final at-bat, the creators do their best to send them off into the sunset.
The real heroes, they're the ones who have to keep going. So keep going.
What started out as a blatant cash grab attempt at pulling in a younger demographic for a Batman in high school show was developed into one of the cornerstones of the modern DC universe. Terry has a fan base all his own, a merchandising empire built off of him, and a constant cry for more content based on him. And all of this in spite of the fact that his show literally doesn't have an ending. What do you think? Can you remember a show that had a bad finale but still went on to become a classic? Let us know down in the comments below, and as always, like, comment, and subscribe for more videos just like this.